This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. Oil prices fell on Monday as questions over China's economy outweighed OPEC Plus output cuts and the seventh straight drop in the number of oil and gas rigs operating in the United States. Brent crude fell 17 cents, or 0.2%, to $76.44 a barrel by 0944 GMT, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude lost 31 cents, or 0.4%, to $71.47. Both contracts ended last week with gains of more than 2%.
China added to crude oil stockpiles at the fastest rate in nearly 3 years in May, as robust imports outweighed near-record refinery processing. A total of 1.77 million barrels per day, BPD, was added to inventories in May, the most since July 2020 and reversing the small, and rare, draw of 340,000 barrels of oil per day in April. When assessing the state of China's oil market, it's common to focus on the level of imports and refinery throughput, and both have been strong in recent months.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
A late proposal to extend subsidies for coal plants has upset European Union countries' plans on Monday to approve a reform of the bloc's power market, which was designed to shift the electricity system towards cleaner energy. EU countries' energy ministers meet in Luxembourg on Monday to agree a joint stance on new EU power market rules, aimed at expanding low-carbon power and avoiding a repeat of last year's energy crisis, when record-high gas prices left consumers with soaring energy bills. The proposed reform aims to make power prices more stable and predictable, by putting new state-backed renewables and low-carbon nuclear plants onto fixed-price contracts for difference. Ministers need to iron out details like how to spend any revenues raised by these subsidy schemes.
Kuwait's oil production capacity is above 2.8 million barrels per day, BPD, now, and will reach 3 million in 2025, the CEO of Kuwait oil company Ahmed Jaber Al-Aidan said on Sunday. Kuwait is committed to the cuts decided by OPEC and OPEC Plus, Al-Aidan added.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
China's aluminium imports in May climbed 1.8% from a year earlier, customs data showed on Sunday, but arrivals were lower than the prior month amid weak industrial demand. The world's biggest aluminium producer and consumer brought in 191,701 tons of unwrought aluminium and products including primary metal and unwrought, alloyed aluminium, last month, according to data from the General Administration of Customs. That compared to 188,469 tons imported in the same month of 2022, but lower than the 222,851 tons in April.
Prices of London copper retreated on Monday as investors tried to gauge the outlook for demand with strong output in top producer and consumer China. 3-month copper on the London Metal Exchange was down 0.6% at $8,517.50 per metric ton by 0729 GMT, falling from a 3-week rally largely supported by bets on China rolling out further stimulus to revive its COVID-19 ravaged economy. But a lack of concrete stimulus details from a meeting of China's State Council disappointed investors, sending stock markets in China and Hong Kong lower. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. Farmers in Ukraine's southern region of Odessa have started the 2023 grain harvest, threshing the first winter barley, local officials said. Ukraine is a major global grain grower and exporter, but this year's out is expected to be reduced because of Russia's invasion to around 45 million tons from 53 million in 2022. The Agriculture Ministry said last week Ukraine's 2023 spring sowing was almost complete at almost 13 million hectares. The total sown area as of June 16 included 271,100 hectares of spring wheat, 810,000 hectares of barley, 138,500 hectares of peas, 146,200 hectares of oats, 4 million hectares of corn and other commodities.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.